Well, another highlight for the SEC, we know this has been done for a while, but knowing it's difficult for you to share information like this, I'll give you the publicly reported numbers. You just announced a blockbuster new television deal with ABC, ESPN. This will see all of ESPN broadcast content on ABC, ESPN, and the family of networks. The new deal for your tier one football games, which is 15 football games a year, and I think it's roughly 8 basketball games a year at over 300 million per year. Ignoring the basketball games for a second, that comes out to over 20 million per football game played. It catapults the SEC further out in front of everybody as far as revenue. It puts you in a position for the next decade to be on top. It's beautifully aligned and coterminous with the other ESPN deal that you had from a few years ago, along with your network. If you don't mind sharing with us some of the things that enabled you to be in this place, because you have secured the long-term future of the SEC with this yet another great deal.
Well, I'll start first and say you have accurately recited what has been publicly reported, which I have not verified the accuracy or the inaccuracy of that. So one should not assume. So I'll just say that because we do keep those matters private, and I think people understand these agreements are much more nuanced and sophisticated than gets reported. That's just the reality of media agreements. One of the cool things last week when we made the announcement was I saw this slide that had the Disney logo. Everybody knows the iconic Disney logo and the SEC logo. Another, I think, iconic logo on the same slide right next to each other. I'd never seen that before. And that was one of those great moments in leadership because the power of the Disney Corporation and brand across ABC, ESPN, its universe, the digital media that's emerging, and the SEC network we've created together will be in full force come 2024.
And what does that do? If I'm a fan of an SEC university, what is that? All this incremental money, what is it going to do for me? What is it going to do for my conference? Or what would your advice be on what to do with all this
Yeah.
incremental money?
Well, let's take money and put it aside because I don't think money leads. Even in these deals, it follows. And I've structured my career that way. So I've taken moves where people would say, "Oh, it's a great promotion. You're making a ton more money," and I've forfeited, a third of my salary because the experience was at the center and the ability to be challenged so that I could learn and grow. Well, you take back here and say, what were fundamentals of this arrangement? So one was from a fan-centric approach, which is our scheduling of football games. So we've heard more and more from campuses, and I can't get fully to this adjustment until the 24 season. There's some incremental change that can happen in 2021 that we'd like to know more kickoff times in advance. Well, when you have different partners, that's tough to do. And so under one umbrella, probably by midsummer, that's an ill-defined date when we've got, some contractual structures to it. By midsummer, maybe around our media days, mid-July, we'll be able to schedule the kickoff windows for just over 50% of our total game inventory. In other words, fans will know the game's going to be played at this time in November even, number one. Number two, those early window kickoffs, we will know at that time, and those won't move. So you'll know if there's going to be a noon Eastern time kickoff. Our athletics departments can plan promotions and sales initiatives. People can figure out, hey, I'm going to come in Friday, take the day off, wake up early, tailgate, go to an early game. And that's an asset we've created, in my view, the ability to have advanced scheduling. And then even where we have movement, the movement will be between two windows, like the midday window and the evening window, rather than moving from morning until, nighttime. And then we've narrowed the timing of night kickoff. So we've got the ability to put games on more platforms simultaneously. We'll still maintain a 3:30 Eastern national broadcast television window like we have with CBS. That will be on ABC. But we've increased the opportunity to have more games on broadcast TV. It's another key. So scheduling flexibility, advance notice, and then how, given what's happening with the universe digitally, cable and satellite and broadcast TV, do we expand the number of contests presented on broadcast? And we've done that. And then the digital world. So what you just heard was a vision from the beginning that, this whole media delivery won't just be digital. It won't just be cable and satellite. It won't just be broadcast TV. It's a spectrum of how people will consume video and content. And so, again, you look and say, well, Disney, ABC, ESPN presents that in a very sophisticated way. Buying BAM Tech, having the plumbing, that's part of what I learned from other media executives is they can deliver content through those three methodologies. That was important to us. And then I tell you all of that to say how we produced and present was important. And then you get into the money conversation. And we have to finance athletic programs. We are rapidly entering a new era of college athletics. I don't know what that means, even as I say it. What's the new era going to bring? But we know we're expected to support mental health of student athletes in a sophisticated way. 10 years ago, we did not even talk about that reality. And now we have staffs, 6, 8 people embedded in athletics departments. Healthcare extends beyond the period of eligibility at the autonomy conference level, which is us and our 5 conference colleagues. Those are expenses that are there. In fact, the sophistication of physical support, nutrition, training, recovery, physical therapy, rehabilitation, and medical treatment is beyond what it was even 2, 3 years ago. And you think about the way Tua Tagovailoa was treated after his injury in November of 2019, that really odd hip injury. He was helicoptered back to Birmingham, where the Andrews Sports Medicine facility is located. They took 24 hours to literally call globally for the best experts to help him heal. And lo and behold, he's the 5th pick in the NFL draft and playing now well for the Miami Dolphins. That's a tribute to meeting those expectations. And so that's an indication right now of how financial support is used. And the answer is, I think, will continue to change. And that's a conversation that we'll have to have as an entire conference, even though we give authority locally to our campuses to determine whether they take athletics funds to build a science building, which happens, or to fund faculty endowed roles, which happens, or student scholarships, or how they fund their athletics programs. But we're going to be in this new era of college athletics, which will guide us in more and more of those resource use conversations.
Well, from the voice of a fan, I would love to thank you for setting a standard there for, if not certainty, at least clarity on when games will be played. Some of it's the benefit of being in the business that I'm at and having to be with clients during some of their key games. But I'm a season ticket holder here at ASU, and I want to watch my alma mater, the Huskies, and it is more than inconvenient to plan out on 6 days notice those start times and where you are. And it would be a real luxury to have that level of certainty on those big matchups. So holding the incredible financial outcomes to the side for a second, that really is putting fans first. So congratulations. That's very thoughtful and incredible success for the SEC.